All right, let's talk about how to make more money. Yeah, because that's what it's going to come down to in this topic of cross sales. So, if you've already taken one of the classes on this is going to be not just a refresher, but more of a challenge for you to start making more money. Because look, this is a fact that you're leaving money on the table. And I want you just to just let me say that again and just really embrace it and let it bother you that you're leaving money on the table. Money that's going to come from not because you're working more hours, not because you're working weekend now or adding more days to your week. It's not about making money through that way. It's just about asking the right questions, connecting with your client that you're already on the phone with, that you're already in front of, that you're already speaking to, but now having this mindset of I'm going to not only close them in this product that I'm focusing on first, but I'm also going to give them more value. I'm also going to provide more to the point where they're going to buy more. Because I provide more, they're going to buy more. It's not just about, oh, I'm not going to ask for more money when they just paid for this, Richard. Like they're already fighting me on price on this. And now you want me to upsell, to cross sell something else? Yes, I do. It's not about you, just saying, hey, I want to sell you more. It's about you solving more problems. And if you have that kind of belief that says, oh, I don't want to bother them with more, asking for more money, then you're going to be leaving a lot of money on the table. And I'm talking about 20, 30% of money on the table. So if you took your monthly payment of what you're getting right now a month and you increase that by 30%, would that be nice for you or what? Would that make a difference? And then you multiply that by 12 for 12 months and what that would bring overall, another 30% overall in your whole year. Every month, more 30%. Every month, 30%. Come on. That's going to add up to something really nice for you, your family, and your future. Yes or no? So we can't be leaving money on the table. How do we do that? By learning these simple things on cross-selling, upselling, right? Again, this is you providing more education, providing more solutions for their problems. It's you providing more great energy. All this is how you're going to earn at least another 20, 30%. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing. So first of all, we need to understand why people don't do it. They think that they're being pushy. But the truth is we're not being pushy. We're providing valuable information, guys. I really want you to understand this, that clients, they really value solutions that are tailored to their specific needs. So a big mistake that we're seeing a lot of agents, a lot of salespeople have is they go right into their pitch. They're positive, they're excited, they have great energy. Hey, how you doing? And they go right into their pitch. And they even create a good story attached to it. Hey, did you like I was doing this? And we're like, it pulls them in. They're really good at communicating, but they're doing most of the talking. In the beginning, you don't want to do all the talking. You want to do a greet where they know who you are, why you're calling, what's in it for them, right? Like it's clear. So they don't need to ask, who is this? Wait, who are you calling with? Why are you calling? They shouldn't have to ask those questions after you greet. Okay, so in this training, we're going to go over some things on that's going to really clean it up. That's going to build your confidence. So that way you can start making 20, 30% more money, right? This is going to boost your sales, boost your paycheck, all by showing you how to identify cross-selling opportunities, number one. How to identify, and this has to do with your greets and your discovery. Your greets and your discovery. I'm going to show you how to match the right products to now what they really need. Because again, most of the big problem of sales agents, of salespeople, they go right into their pitch. They start offering them something that they don't even know if they need. And first you have to create the need. They probably do have the need, right? But first you have to make them aware of it. So that way the client is conscious of their need at that moment. Maybe they know they have a need, but they're not thinking about it at that point. So it's your job as the salesperson to bring up that need, remind them of that need, or if they're not aware of it yet, you need to create that need. Like, hey, you do have this problem. You do have this need. You do want this, right? And that's a part of our job as we earn more money here. Okay, so we're going to get into some very practical things here. Make sure you guys write them down and see how you're going to be applying these things today. You need to apply these things today. 'Cause, hey, you want to make more money today, right? It all starts today and then tomorrow. And then, it starts every day. You start to stack up each other. By the end, when you start getting your paycheck, you're going to be like, okay, I want to do this more. Okay. So here are the 3 steps. I'm going to give you 3 steps with some practical tips in each of those areas. Okay. So make sure you're writing them down. That way we can do some role play and you can feel what these steps are. Okay. I'll have you guys stop for each section and do some role play in between all 3 sections. Okay. Just to break it down into small little steps so you retain it better. So number 1, greet and identify opportunities. And this is discovery. Greets and identify opportunities. So it's greets and discovery. Greets and discovery. So whether they're walking into your office, they're calling, you're outbound calling, whether it's through a text or a web quote, whatever, you need to have some kind of really good, positive, clear introduction. So whatever it is, it sounds like, you shouldn't have your client come in and asking, wait, who is this? Who are you calling? Why are you calling? Why should they not be asking any of those questions? Because on your greeting, you were very clear, high energy, positive to be able to answer all those things so they don't need to ask. So your greeting should answer all those things: who you are, who you're calling with, why you're calling, and hopefully what's in it for them. So you can hook them so they want to be on that phone a little bit longer, right? So that first goal is to get them the answer. Second goal is to make sure they don't hang up, right? Make sure they don't leave. So this means in our greeting, we want to create some hooks there already. Now, after our greeting, we start to ask some questions. See, during this time right here, the step 1 to greet and discover, you start off the conversation. Yes, good energy, set the tone. But now you're going, boom, you're going to start to pull out information. This is discovery. This is where you start to slow it down. Doesn't mean you lower your energy, right? But you start to slow it down because you want them to talk. This is a really important part of you being able to cross-sell and upsell, because not only do you want to sell, right? So you need good connection there. You need to make sure that they feel understood there, that they feel like, man, I can trust you, Richard. You understand what I need. You understand my frustrations. Why? Because you asked me all these questions and now I feel heard. And I know you're getting what I really need here, right? Because you took your time in this first part to really understand what it is I want and need. You have to earn that, right? So once you first go through that greeting and you start doing the discovery, this is where you earn that connection. This is where you not only sell that first product or service that you want to sell, but it creates that long connection to where also you're able to gather other information to, once you solve this problem, then you can go into offering the solution for your other problem, which is the cross sale, right? But you need to dig in this discovery to have a lot of issues and problems that you can add value to later, right? But first, yes, I want to focus on this one and not confuse them with all these different offers. I want to close them first before I offer an upsell or a cross sale. Okay, I want to close them with my main product first. So here are some tips for you when it comes to this first step of that greeting and discovery. Okay, because look, without understanding your client's needs, it's going to be really hard to know what to offer. Okay, so even if you already know that they're coming in for car insurance, okay, what am I going to cross sell? What am I going to upsell? I don't know yet. So even as I'm doing discovery for the main product, this is where I need to have good open-ended questions so I can hear other frustrations. So this is where I'm even listening in the background for dogs barking, for kids talking, interrupting, because I want to engage in those things too. Oh, is that your husband? Oh, is that your kids? Oh, how old are they? Because this is all information that I should be writing down that I can use later. Oh, what does your husband do? What do you do? Oh, you have a business. Great. Commercial, right? Oh, you have kids. How old are they? Oh, they're still young. Oh, life insurance, right? Or, oh, your kids are teenagers. Oh, they have a ticket on their record. Oh no, traffic school, right? You start to ask questions and take little notes to yourself, and you're fully there. You want to connect. You want to make them feel understood, but gathering this information because you really care, it's also showing what other problems that you can help solve. And because you really care, you're gonna be able to offer these things, right? So don't be afraid to ask those discovery questions. And sometimes you need to ask it in a hard way, like, hey, you can ask, what's working well with your current setup or with your current policy right now? What could be improved? I know you said you already had insurance. What is some frustrating experience that you've had with that company to make sure that, we don't do the same? You start to pull out some emotional talk, right? With the current carrier that you're with, the current company that you're with, what are some things that can be improved there, or that you wish would give you, that they had to give you a better experience when it comes to your insurance? Or what is that perfect, experience to do insurance? Like, what does it look like to you? That perfect experience? Because I want to provide that. Like just having these type of questions to get them to talk more and for me to connect. I want them to do most of the talking here. Okay. That's the main thing. You're asking open-ended questions so they can't just say yes or no. And you let them talk. Don't sometimes like especially salespeople, they share and then they throw in like they're answering for them, right? Because they want to keep the energy going. No, that's not what this part is about. If they have a high energy and they're going back and forth really quick, awesome. That's what you want to create, that rhythm of, okay, I throw the ball to you, you catch it, you throw it to me. Yes. But most of the time they should be talking, especially in the beginning part. This is where you earn their trust, guys. In the discovery, this is where you create those anchors and gather that information so that you can do the cross sales. You need to find other problems, other frustrations in order to do the cross sales, which means you have to be really asking good questions and listening and taking notes in the discovery. You got that? So you want to identify seasonal situations, urgent situations, upgrade option situations that I can add on, some add-ons. I want to pay attention to all these things as I'm having conversation. Why? Because I care. And because I care, I'm going to ask the questions. Because I care, I'm going to ask clarifying questions to gather more information. Because I care, I'm going to close you with this one. And because I care, I'm going to offer something else to solve another problem for you. You getting that? So here's number 2 now. Part 2. Step 2. So you already greeted and you gathered, right? You have all the information. Now you need to amplify and blow up and then start to match your products with their needs. So you want to blow it up now. Number 2 is to blow it up and match your products with their needs. So what does it mean to blow it up? What does it mean to amplify it? So you've already gathered information, right? You know their frustrations, you know their pains. So this is where you can start to blow up those things to make it more urgent. Like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, I know that it's been 3 days since you had insurance. I'm so glad we're talking, and I'm so glad that nothing has happened, because there's a lot of things out there. And, I don't know if you know these numbers, but 6 out of 10 drivers out there are not insured. And, if something were to happen, you get in an accident, you don't have your insurance, this can cost anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 out of pocket, so you're blowing it up, right? Or you can amplify certain things like, oh, you know what? Also, to let you know, we're going to be able to save you a lot of time, because I know you work hard. I know you have a lot of responsibilities, but we can save you a lot of time. 2 main things. One is you don't have to go shopping around to figure out other things, because we work with all the top carriers, and I'm able to do that for you. So I'm going to save you all that time right now. I'm also going to be able to save you time because we have DMV services, right? So you don't have to go over there, and this is where you amplify it. Like, have you ever been to DMV? Oh, man, I hate it. Like, you have to take a day, a half a day, or sometimes a full day, depending on how busy it is, off of work. You're standing in line. You have to go pull out that number, right? You go pull the number, you sit and you share story, and you start to use that to amplify, like, oh, I don't want to go to the DMV. Oh, I don't want to have to do that. So I don't want to lose momentum. I have to take a day off or take a half a day. I don't want to do that, right? This is you amplifying that problem, blowing it up, showing how important it is. So that way you can start to match your product with what they need, especially after that transition. Okay, so number 1 is you greeting and then beginning to do some discovery by you asking good questions to identify what are their problems, what are their frustrations, what are their goals, what are their needs, right? Now I have that. I start to gather that. Now I start to transition. Hey, let me heard what I heard you say. You said you needed this. You said you needed that. This is why you're frustrated with the company, the customer service. They don't speak Spanish. And good thing that you're talking to us, because, and I start to blow it up. I start to make it bigger, right? And then I present my value, my solution, and I value stack. So in that step 2, I'm blowing it up and I start to match the products to their needs, right? Like, this is where I give them the options. Like, look, I could see this, this, and this. This is what I recommend, right? For according to what you told me. You know how you said you have 2 kids. You know how you said one kid is driving and has a ticket. You know how you said that your last carrier, last company, their customer service wasn't very good. You know how you said. And we use words and phrases and how they said it back with them to make them feel understood. And now I tie that to what you said with my product, with my service to show like this is like tailor made for you, right? And then this is where now I tell them the price. Okay, this is important. This is number 3. You present the value and you value stack. So after number 2, you blow it up and you match the product with their problem and you share the product, right? This is where you start to getting into the pricing. Now, once I share the pricing, I don't want them to get focused on the price. I'm going to share the price. It can be, okay, this is going to be $100 a month, $250 down, so we can get everything going. So that's the first payment's going to be $350, and then after that, it's going to be $100 every month, okay? And then they're going to be like, oh, because they're focused on the price. So as soon as I share the price, I'm not going to let them stay here long. Okay, so this is going to be the price, $100 a month, but it's going to be $250 for the down payment. So I need a total of $350 today. Let me tell you what you're going to get. So with this product that I'm getting with these options, you're going to have, comprehensive coverage, which means, and you start to educate them on all the benefits, all the good things that they're going to get with your product and service, right? I just moved them from price to boom, let me stack the value and tell you all the good things you're going to get with the product, with us as the company, where we've been over for 30 years. We're not going anywhere. We speak English and Spanish. We're all about customer service. We do this. We have DMV services. We have traffic school. We have all this value to make sure that we're here for your family, for your future, to protect what matters, most to you. And I start to stack all the good things about Adriana's insurance, right? And then I also stack the value of, hey, I'm also going to be your agent. I'm going to give you my direct line. I'm going to make sure if there's anyone in your family that need help, I'll be able to help them. And actually, if you do have anybody, just let me know. I'll treat them as good as I do you, little referral, right? So I'm adding so much value there. I close it, right? Once you finish that, this is where you go into the cross sales. Hey, real quick, as I'm processing these things, okay, it's going to take a couple minutes. I know you were telling me that you had kids. Now, I don't know if you knew this about Adriana's, but we also have a financial department where we can teach you how to create financial plan for you, for your kids, how to protect your mortgage, how to have life insurance, laid out to where it's very affordable and really protects your family. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set you up an appointment, or can I transfer you over after this to our life insurance department where they can teach you all these things for free, right? This is where you get into, oh, you know how earlier this is going to take process, right? It's processing. Hey, by the way, I know you told me that you had a ticket, and did you know that we have traffic school? Because this can remove a point from your record to where it'll lower your insurance payment as well. So this is something that we can help you to do to save some money, right? Another thing you can throw in there. Or, hey, as this is processing, you know how earlier you were telling me that your husband has a business, and he's a truck driver, or he does landscaping, or he does painting, whatever it is, right? That's really awesome. And I took a note of that because we have special programs I want to make sure you know about. We have, with the commercial, we have all these, you can start to share them and start to do your cross sales now because you've gathered that information. So as you're closing this, you're going to, again, bring up another problem that you talked about and resolve that problem for them by offering another product and service, right? So make sure you're value stacking when it comes to the product, when it comes to the company of Adriana's, and when it comes to you as their agent, to be able to bring that value, okay? So again, here's the exercise. This is how you start to bring it all together. Identify the current needs, right? You do your greeting. You start to identify. Number 2, you start to blow it up and now tie it together with their problem so you can go into the third part of making your value stack there, okay? That's how you start to do the cross sales more. Again, you have to earn it. Cross-selling is not just about you pushing more. It's about you adding more value. It's about you solving more problems and building a deeper relationship. That's what it's all about. When you can identify the opportunities or the problems or the pain points and match what you have to be able to solve those things, this is what it's all about. You're obviously genuinely caring about them, about their situation, right? You're letting them talk. You're gathering that information. So that way you can help solve some problems. All right, so make sure you guys do some role play here. Use this structure here. Have those questions ready for you, right? And even if they do an objection, that's okay. Agree with them first, handle the objection, and keep going into your value stacking, right? Now let's use it. Remember, it only works when you work it. Let's go.